let's see here. Trina did a super chat saying I should do charity for this and that. All right. In a nutshell, I believe that charity is something that should be private. When I was growing up, I was raised Roman Catholic. And as a Roman Catholic, I was taught charity is not something for public attention. Charity is not something for personal gain. Charity is something that you do to just help someone and literally get nothing out of it, okay? And if you are doing something charity or charitable, but you actually publicize it, you make it known as something public, you're actually going against the spirit of charity. Like that's what he said, like Jesus Christ, when he was doing all these charitable works, didn't go out, you know, trying to make himself famous. He was just trying to help people. And he became well known for being that kind of a person. See what I'm saying? So for me, if I do charity, I will do it privately. And I'm not going to tell you about it, but over the years, every once in a while, I do something. Maybe I make a donation, or I you know, have donated time in my life in the past. It all depends, but, you know, that's up to me. You're not going to see me doing some kind of a crazy charity event stream to make me look better. Now, maybe one day that will change, and maybe maybe I'll be able to reduce the amount of negative element that I have on the internet. And if ever I could reduce that amount of negative element that I have and maybe see that, oh, if I do this, this would really work out and it wouldn't be negative in any way, shape, or form. Maybe then I would do it, but I'll give you guys an example. In 2015, I actually had planned, all right, on doing an actual charity event. This was when I was still pretty popular on YouTube. This is before my major decline on my YouTube channel, okay? So, at that time, there was actually some people on YouTube who liked me, all right? So without spoiling, I don't want to name names because basically the whole thing fell through. I had several people lined up to attend a charity event with me, and what it was going to be was a live stream where I was going to play a variety of games. There was going to be some online multiplayer with a couple different streamers and content creators at the time, and we were going to try to raise funds for a good cause. And basically, I was in the planning stages of doing this, all right? And two things happened that year that deterred me from doing it, all right? The first thing that happened was that for some odd reason in 2015, everyone on the internet started to hate me. And I think it might have been the rise of This Is How You Don't Play becoming more toxic, and people really trying to like stretch out and hurt me and my family rather than just make fun of me. It became more like, gee, how do we hurt Dark Side Phil? So what ended up happening was a series of events in a short period of time, including me getting DDoS attacked constantly, me getting swatted for the only time, thankfully, that it ever happened to me, as well as a series of concentrated attacks against DSP Gaming to try to get my business to basically go out of business. They were actually literally trying to like commit crimes against me to make DSP Gaming fail as a business and make me have to get another kind of job. Okay? So all this happened within like a 6-month period. And every time that one of these things happened, I'm like, all right, I'm just going to let it cool down a little bit. I'm going to let it calm down a little more, and hopefully the negativity will die off, and then I can do this charity event. I've been dying to do it. I want to do it. And it just kept escalating. Like that year just got worse and worse and worse and worse. And I never told anyone about this till years later. So it wasn't like, oh, this was, people trying to thwart the charity event. People didn't even know I was doing it. And there was so much negativity and toxicity thrown towards me that way that year that I figured I'm just going to not do it right now. It's not the right time. Now, in addition to all of that happening, you guys may not know this, but there is a group of content creators on the internet that used to exist called the Creatures. This was a group of content creators that came together and actually started working together in an office environment, and they did all kinds of cooperative gameplay. I believe at one point they were even doing competitive games, like they were trying to competitively play one of those games that popped up out of nowhere. So anyway, they used to like me and watch my content. In particular, SHOHPKC, who was one of the originators of the GRU, was actually a fan of mine who was inspired by me, and actually had said many times over the years, I was one of the reasons that he ever made content for the internet. He was watching my content, and he was inspired to do it. So him and the Creatures were actually friends of mine behind the scenes, and every once in a while I would talk to SHOHPKC about stuff. And incidentally, that same year, all right, the same freaking year that I was planning to do a charity event, they did a charity event, and they got swatted during the charity event. Like, what the fuck? Why would you do that? They're literally doing this to help people. The whole point of the event is to raise money for a good cause, and some pieces of shit swatted them during the fucking charity event. Like, why would you do that? It blows my mind. Like, how much of a scumbag can you be? All right. So it was like a combination of factors. It was like everything possible negative is happening to me, and at the same time, some guys that I'm friendly with on the internet also just got swatted during a charity event. Gee, maybe this is a bad idea. All right. So since then, I always said, here's what my philosophy would be. If I notice a change in attitude towards me on the internet, if I happen to notice that people were nicer, people were stopping to hate, people were not going to be toxic and try to do all kinds of messed up stuff to me and my family as a result of me being an internet content creator, then I would consider doing a charity event again. But in the meantime, if anything, if I'm going to do charity, I'm going to keep it to myself. I'm just going to have it be private. Like I was raised as a Catholic. Just keep it to yourself. Don't try to, not something to publicize. And you do it to do the right thing behind the scenes, and that's why you do it. And that's it. Okay? So that's really what's happened. Now, since 2015, how has the attitude of the internet changed towards me? All right? Now, admittedly, I will say this. By the way, I'm stuck on nothing. What am I stuck on? Okay. Okay, so how has the attitude of the internet been towards me, right, since 2015? Well, gee, should we really talk about this? I mean, people have literally, at every waking turn, tried to do whatever they can to fuck with me. You know what I mean? Things offline, online, regardless of the business, regarding the personal stuff. Perfect example of this. What happened here? Did it get caught? Oh, it didn't. Oh, the water's too shallow. Okay, we can't even do this. Yeah, I gotta get out of here. This is a bad spot. A perfect example of this would be thus. My wife, Kat, all right, moved in here with me 4 years ago, all right? And when she moved in with me, we were fully intending, 100%, that she was actually going to be a part of my content from time to time. She was not going to be someone who was going to consistently be a part of the content. Maybe every once in a while we do something special, all right? Maybe every once in a while there'd be a co-op playthrough or maybe a special event like cooking together and stuff like that. And, we tested the waters. She was on my streams a few times doing Q&A and stuff with me, right? And then the kicker was that she was on the Halloween event with me that year, 2018. And that was actually the last time Kat was ever seen in any of my content. It's been over 4 years now. Well, about 4 years now. And you might say, well, why? Because on that stream, no exaggeration, she shows up. So I want you to think about this. And by the way, a lot of tips have come in. I'm going to shout them out, but I'm telling a story, okay? She spent money. She spent personal time putting effort into a Halloween costume. It was a steampunk Halloween costume, okay? And we even talked together about what games, you know what I'm saying, to play together and all of that. She was a big part of, I really want to do commentary with you on this game and this game. We're playing the first game, which is Silent Hill, the one with the frozen shit. It's on the Wii. It's a terrible game, by the way. We didn't know. We had never played it before. So we're playing the game. It's bad. The controls are absolutely terrible. It's a bad game. What are you going to do, right? So at first she's enjoying herself, and then she starts looking at the chat. And she realizes that trolls are flooding into my Twitch chat. Remember, this was 4 years ago. I was on Twitch. Trolls are flooding in and saying absolutely disgusting, misogynistic, really insulting things about how she looks. And then they start bringing up shit, I kid you not, about her past. They start saying the name of her ex-boyfriend. They start saying the most vile, disgusting, fucked up shit that you would say on someone's stream. What the fuck does that have to do with my wife, out of the kindness of her heart, appearing on my stream with me to do a holiday event, right? So essentially what they did is they did everything possible to make her feel awful. So within the first hour and a half of her being on the stream, we went on a break. And we went off stream. I'm going to be honest with you guys now, okay? Because I never really told you the full story. She was crying after that. And she's telling me, I can't believe those people were so mean to me. All I wanted to do was do something nice. And here, this is how they treat me. And I told her, I was like, listen, you got to understand something. All right? That wasn't for you. That was for me. That's because these people are so sick that they hate me so much. That's why they did that. They didn't do it necessarily because you did anything wrong. And you have to understand that it wasn't you. It's me. These people will do absolutely anything they can to hurt me. Okay? So, She was so hurt and upset, right, that she never came back in my content ever again. Now, the funny part is, how did the trolls spin it? Oh, look at how uncomfortable she looked. Take a look at this screen grab of her and how unhappy she is in the Halloween event. Phil must have forced her to be in it. So, no, that was you. That was you, you piece of shit. You caused her to look and act like that because she was going to have fun, and you ruined it for her to the point where she never wants to come back. She has a negative association with this stream that if she comes on here, all that's going to happen is people are going to insult her and attack her. I don't blame her for feeling that way. Why would I? Right? And the thing, this is what we've learned over the years, is that the more that we give the trolls to work with, right, the worse it gets. So the moment she comes on here, even though she hasn't been on this stream in 4 years, the moment she comes on here, all you'll see is the trolls completely being disgusting to her. You know? And we're not dumb. We know that. So why put her in that position? But do you understand what I'm saying? Like, that's my wife. That's someone who has nothing to do with negativity or toxicity with me, and that's how they treat her. Can you fucking imagine if I tried to do a charity event of any kind? How it would go? The moment that I tried to do something good like that, they would probably be trying to swat. They would probably be trying to do every possible fucked up negative thing they could possibly do. You know what I'm saying? Anything. So, there you go. And by the way, I shit you not, in the chat there is a troll, alright, trying to tell me that it's my fault because I played games during Halloween that weren't co-op games. She didn't want to play the game. She wanted to watch and do co-commentary. You guys act like these trolls are so fucking dumb. They literally believe, alright, that like I don't talk to her. I don't talk to my own wife. We totally didn't plan the event and talk about the games that you guys had voted for and were selected and how we were go about doing the commentary and how she said, oh, it's fine. What I want to do is watch you play and you could do we can do co-commentary. Like, we didn't discuss this ahead of time, right? You're a fucking degenerate moron. Go do yourself a favor. Commit yourself right now. Drop everything you're doing. Go right to the nut house and commit yourself. Check yourself right in because you're a fucking loony. You need to be out of freedom because you are not helping anything on this planet with the shit you say and do. It's seriously out of control how crazy these fucking people are. All right? But as if to not confirm what I just said, they just confirmed it. So that's what I mean. Can you imagine if I tried to do a charity event, how bad it would get? They'd be fucking swatting me. They would be doing every possible thing. They'd probably try to do, you know, false copyright checks. Hit them with everything possible to shut down the charity event. So there's no point. There's absolutely positively no point to it. That's why you don't see my wife in my content. That's why you don't see charity events. It's a waste of everyone's time. It just is. Okay? Thank you for listening to a very, very long-winded explanation. Now, shout-outs for a ton of contributions that just came in. Yoshi to me, $4.21. I saw a spider on your wall and it looked pretty big.